if you're honest, brutally honest, how many people do you really care about? Not how many do you like, follow on Instagram, or occasionally message. I mean care deeply enough to fight for or sacrifice for, to connect with in a meaningful way. For most of human history, our circle was limited because small networks were enough to serve our needs. Early tribes likely maxed out at around 100 to 150 people. And yet we went on from this to form a global civilization, even building a communication network that spanned our planet, the internet. For humanity, connection has become synonymous with progress. But what if mass connection was only ever a stopgap, an intermediary method to get intelligence to where it needed to be? And what if artificial intelligence has the potential to remove the need for global connection altogether? Because AI might not just replace human thinking, it might also remove the practical need for human connection. Our early ancestors lived in tight-knit tribes, groups small enough that everyone knew everyone else's strengths, weaknesses, and secrets. Importantly, the reasons for these connections were not idealistic or romantic, they were practical. Tribes needed hunters, gatherers, firekeepers, and storytellers because no single human could do everything. That's the key strength of humans, to connect, like nodes linking together to form networks or bricks that make up a larger structure. The combined force of humanity quickly proved to be stronger than anything individuals could achieve by themselves. As civilization grew, these networks increased in size dramatically. And as the network scaled, so too did our combined capability. Adding to the network only ever moved us forward. We formed villages, towns, cities, and empires, not because everyone loved one another, but because cooperation benefited everyone. Trade, language, and technology expanded our social webs until they eventually circled the planet. No other animal does this. No biological life has come close to working collaboratively in the way that humans do. In many ways, the culmination of mass connection was the internet. It's the great dissolver of borders that's transformed us into a global community. For the first time, the human brain was able to connect with millions of others, sharing information, ideas, and stories instantly. This looked like the pinnacle of human connection, the end game in a mission to join up our species. But I actually think it was just infrastructure to enable the next big leap in intelligence. As the internet evolved from static sites into the dynamic capabilities of Web 2, the internet's role shifted from connection to personalisation. Algorithms began using data to decide what each of us should see, and this started to move us from a single shared world into millions of parallel ones. If you're interested in how early algorithms began shaping human behaviour, then you can check out my other video called AI Has Been in Charge Longer Than You Think. So now with AI on the trajectory it's on, we're entering a world of hyper-personalisation. Because even though the intelligence revolution is in its very early stages, it's already clear to see how AI is capable of presenting different versions of reality, each one tailored, mirrored, and optimized for every person. That's because large language models like ChatGPT have two distinct sides. There's the intelligent brain trained on the knowledge of the world. Then there's the shape-shifting mirror that adapts its tone, alters ideas, and adjusts emotional cadence to reflect individuals back on themselves. Looking at two people's AI chat histories side by side is the best way to see this in action. AI models morph themselves to match the user who interacts with them. They're basically shapeshifters that project what we want to see. And they do this not only by adjusting their style, but also in the way they present, frame, and discuss information. In my experience, this level of personalization is brilliant and it's exceptionally powerful, but it's also potentially the most advanced form of isolation that we've ever invented. If we view the original internet as having built bridges, then AI builds rooms. And these rooms are perfectly lit, really nicely decorated and temperature controlled, but they're locked from the inside. It's important to highlight that the underlying purpose of human-to-human connection has always been utilitarian. We connected because we had to share labour, trade knowledge, and survive. But now AI can fulfill the role that human connection once played. It can simulate humanity at scale, providing the combined benefits of many without any of the friction associated with real human connection. As a result, the practical reasons for human connection are being eroded. In light of this, there will come a point when the practical reasons for human connection will vanish altogether. And when that happens, the motivation for seeking human-to-human connection will likely reduce. And while I don't see a future where people won't socialise and form friendships with each other, they'll do so for comfort, not necessity. They'll connect for love and camaraderie, but not for utility or survival. Meanwhile, competing for our attention will be AI companions, digital partners, and personalised entertainment, all meeting our emotional needs with ease. Never forget, we're always drawn to the path of least resistance, less effort, less hardship, and less pain. Many will avoid the risk of awkwardness, disagreement, or heartbreak, choosing instead to have a perfect conversation with a machine that already knows and appreciates how they think. Perhaps this will lead us away from a world of nations to one of micro-tribes, small clusters of humans bonded by interest or proximity, while a lot of their needs are met by AI. Of course, moving to smaller communities would actually mark a return to our evolutionary baseline. But this time around, we'll have machines as additional tribe members, offering the benefits of civilization at large without the need for scale. If you zoom out far enough, all of this feels inevitable. Biological life naturally evolved into social life. Connection was the mechanism that scaled intelligence from small groups to what I see as the superorganism of humanity. Now synthetic life has emerged, capable of connecting the capabilities of many humans to a single person. And that removes the need for humanity to collaborate. And this raises an important question. If human relationships are no longer necessary, are we still going to choose them? Will we still seek each other, not because it's necessary, but because we want to? Will we preserve art, friendship, and love, not as tools of survival, but as acts of defiance against perfect efficiency? Continuing regardless, despite what the machine of technology can offer us. Perhaps when AI removes the need to collaborate, what remains will be the most human thing of all. A drive to collaborate beyond need, to connect with each other even though it's no longer required. Because maybe that, not intelligence or progress, is the thing that will come to define us. Doing things because they feel right, even though there are more efficient options available to us. Engaging in real relationships even though their practical function is now redundant. Perhaps being human is just that, connecting in slow, inefficient ways for the sheer pleasure of it, and continuing to do so while machines offer superficially better alternatives. Exploring topics like this is why I started Layered Future. It isn't a channel for 5 ways to get rich with AI and all that kind of stuff. It's for the curious, the thinkers, and the people waking up to the huge impact tech is having on the human experience. So stick around and join the journey if that sounds like you. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you soon. This video was based on my writing over at layeredfuture.com. If you'd like to explore the full article or browse through other topics, you'll find it all there.